Hi, Eric with you. Thank you so much for joining me. I just wanted to speak to you today regarding fruit juices and why you should not be giving fruit juices to your children, to your kids. Number one, here we have sugar, and there is an extremely high content of sugar in fruit juices. Actually, in one glass of fruit juice, you're going to be drinking about 9 teaspoons. That's 9 teaspoons of sugar in one glass of a fruit juice. And that's comparable to drinking a can of soda. It's probably even more sugar in a glass of fruit juice, which we think would be healthy, which would be beneficial for our kids, but that sugar content is very, very high. And the type of sugar also is very concerning. It's fructose sugar, a type of sugar, and that type of sugar molecule makes your liver, makes little kids' livers work even harder to break it down, to assimilate that. And over time, if they're continually taking in a lot of fruit juice with this fructose sugar, the liver has to work overtime, and that can lead to so many more problems down the road. So again, 9 teaspoons in a glass of fruit juice, and don't be thrown off. Don't be fooled. It may say it's all natural. It's 100% fruit juice. There's no sugar added, but there is a naturally occurring sugar in fruit called fructose, and there's 9 teaspoons in a glass of juice. Number two, we have fiber. Now we think also that fruit juice would have some benefit in terms of the fiber because there's a lot of fiber in fruit, right? Nope, not in fruit juice, because once the fruit is broken down, once it's blended, a lot of that fiber is completely depleted. The soluble and insoluble fiber. If the fruit is broken down, if it's blended, the fiber goes with it, it's depleted, so you're not getting fiber in the fruit juice also. And fiber is so important, especially if there's a high sugar content, because fiber acts as a buffer. It buffers the sugar so it doesn't rise your sugar in your blood quickly. It slows that process down, and that has a very significant hormonal effect in our bodies, especially little kids. So again, with fruit juice, there's not high fiber, if any at all, and that is not going to help combat the sugar then. So it's like a double whammy. We're getting high sugar without any fiber to buffer that sugar. Number three, pasteurized. Fruit juices, or at least most of them, are pasteurized, meaning they heat the juice. And they do that in order to kill off any type of bacterial strains that may be associated with it, such as E. coli or salmonella. They pasteurize the juice to kill off that bacteria. However, when they pasteurize it, when they heat it, a lot of the nutrients that come with fruit are also killed off, are also depleted. So you're getting, again, mostly just sugar in fruit juice. And we don't get the fiber, and now with being pasteurized, being heated to kill off the bacteria, that is also depleting, decreasing the nutrients that we should get out of fruit. Number four, oxidized. As soon as fruit is cut open or blended, it is oxidized, meaning oxygen gets to it. And when that happens also, you lose a lot of the nutrients associated with fruit. If you think about it, like if you take a couple bites of an apple or a banana and you put it on the counter or your plate for a minute or two and you come back and it's already turning brown, that is that is being oxidized. It's being exposed to oxygen. And again, once that happens, a lot of the nutrients, a lot of the minerals are also lost. So of course, in fruit juices, we do have oxidized fruit, losing those nutrients. And on another note, a lot of fruit juices are stored. I'm talking stored to up to a year at a time in these huge containers. And again, they're just exposed to oxidize, they're heated, and again, it could be up to a year before you actually drink the juice in the box. I'm sure they add different chemicals to try to liven it up, so when you do get it, it is tasteful, but again, it could be stored to up to a year in a huge container. And finally, we have the end result here. There's been a high link, there's been a very, very strong link between kids who drink food juices on a consistent basis with overweight and obesity. There's a strong link because of that sugar. When you consume sugar, it gets stored into your muscles, your liver, and once your muscle and livers are full, they have a certain capacity. Once they're full, it starts getting stored away as fat. The sugar starts to get stored away as fat, and again, with the high content of sugar, a lot of that sugar, especially in kids, is getting stored away as fat. Every day we drink more and more, we consume more and more. That's getting us fatter and fatter. Kids are getting more and more overweight, leading to obesity. And of course, with obesity, continual obesity, continuing being overweight, will ultimately lead to diabetes. Yes, kids, more and more kids are becoming type 2 diabetics now. Interestingly, type 2 diabetes used to be called adult onset diabetes. But now, because so many kids are becoming type 2 diabetics, they no longer call it adult onset diabetes. And a big factor that's causing the obesity, that's causing the diabetes in kids, is the fruit juices. So please try to eliminate all fruit juices with your children. And you may ask them, what do I give them then? And that's a great question. We need alternatives, right? If we're not going to give them their juice, what do we give them? And an option you can try is first of all, water, of course. We want to drink water, especially for kids. We want to keep them hydrated. 60 to 70% of their body is water, so we want to push the water. But you can also take a cold glass of water and maybe take a handful of berries and throw it in the water, and it gives it a little color and it adds sweetness to it too. So instead of just going maybe, cold turkey from the fruit juices to water, just put a couple pieces, berries of fruit in there, and it does add some sweetness, and it may be a much easier transition than going just from straight juice to straight water. So some berries in some water. Also juicing greens. You can juice the vegetables are so good. I mean, how many kids, there has to be millions of kids who are not getting enough veggies in on a daily allowance. So juicing greens is a great way, and you can even throw in a little fruit, just a little bit, maybe half a banana when you're juicing green vegetables for kids, and that adds a little sweetness, makes it a little bit more palatable for them as they're making the change to get away from fruit juices. So there are some options. Please, look at the content, look at the label for yourself, and see if you can start to get your kids completely off fruit juices. I saw even the American Academy of Pediatrics now have recommended that infants, kids 1 year and under, have Zippo, zero juice whatsoever, no juice, and kids older than that at the most should be having 6 ounces of juice today, which again I think is still too much. So if you can get them off completely, you'll be that much better. So I hope that helps. Please pass this on to as many parents as you can. This all starts in the home. If we're going to make changes, it has to start at the home. Please pass it on to as many parents as you can. If you can like and subscribe, that will get this word out to even more people also. So I appreciate that. Thanks so much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.